give me a break, man. No, I mean, don't give me break, man, or anything like that. I mean, in the last episode, we defeated the last of the Doc Robot stages, the remaining 3. And in this episode, we're going to tackle the final boss. Man, I think I actually got my introductions mixed up. This is the Mississippi King, welcoming y'all back to the finale of Let's Play Mega Man 3. So, yeah, that was the final boss, supposedly. And what's this? So what have we got?
Oh no, right after we received the last element, Wiley ran off with Gamma.
You mean all this time Dr. Wiley was behind it? He's the one who made the Robot Masters go berserk? But Dr. Wiley turned over a new leaf! How is this? Okay, I'll knock it off. Also, I may as well include some info cards over, like, Dr. Light, since I didn't really include an info card about Dr. Light in the, what was it, Mega Man 2? I should have. Maybe. Apparently a good point about him is his good face. And, he also, the bad point about Dr. Light is douchey? I have no idea what that means. I just don't know what that means. Like, it may be a translation error or something. Again, I feel I should stress, I am only copying these things off of the Mega Man base CD database. So, if things look weird, or like you get some weird thing like that, don't blame me, just saying. I'm just copying what I see. And anyway, this is perhaps the easiest Wiley fortress of all of classic Mega Man. Perhaps. Maybe. It's still pretty easy. But yeah, also a bad point about Rush, according to the CD database, is, curiosity. I would strongly disagree with that assessment, but again, I'm just copying this stuff off of the CD database. I would disagree about that being his bad point. But anyway, this part is fairly straightforward. We're going to be running into some of them, what are they called, Mountaineering Joes? I think that's what they're called. They could also be called Honey-Boned Joes. I don't know, just possibly. Whatever they're called, these, Olympic Joes here, the idea is that they test your ability to slide. I mean, of course, most of the time they're in positions where it's not really necessary to do that, but still, it's kind of a neat idea. This one is in kind of an inconvenient spot because you can't just, like, fly past him. And as for this section, guess what? It's the disappearing blocks of doom! They're back! They suck. I do not like the disappearing blocks of doom. They're just horrible. But, this Wiley's Castle is just insanely easy. And, you know, when I said that we'd fight the final boss in this episode, I wasn't lying. It's just, maybe Breakman isn't the final boss. Why am I saying maybe? I mean, you know he's not the final boss. What am I saying? So of course, since he's not the final boss, it's Wiley. Now that we know that, all we need to do is to get through Wiley Castle, and yes, I am going to get through the entirety of the Wiley Castle in this very video. That's why I said this is the finale. The video would have been really short if Brakeman really were the final boss, but yeah, of course you need to get through this Wiley Castle. And in order to get through the Wiley Castle, you need to get through all of this crap. Oh, and also, one thing I feel I should mention is that the boss we fought earlier, that's actually called the Kamegoro Maker. What's a Kamegoro? Well, apparently it's Japanese for Goro the Turtle. Now, I don't know if that's accurate. My sources could be quite wrong because well, I don't speak Japanese. So, don't take my word on it. The Search Snake, Hard Knuckle, and Shadow Blade also can take out them turtles back there in one hit, but, I kind of prefer using the top spin because, again, it's not as useless as the internet would have you believe, but it's still pretty useless anyway. As for the boss of this Wiley Castle, it's a very familiar face. Guess who? Oh dear. Oh no. No. This is not happening. I destroyed your ugly yellow mug back in the first Mega Man game! I didn't expect to see your ugly face again! This is not happening! Take your yellow demonic hide and shove it up here! What do you want from me? I already destroyed you! Are you up for revenge because I didn't use the pause screen glitch against you in the first Mega Man game? Well, screw you! I ain't gonna play by your stupid tricks! I am not going to be using an energy tank on this fight either! Because yes, I am just that good! Seriously, I hate this boss! This is the Yellow Devil Mark II. And it sucks! Although, in some ways I suppose it may be kind of easier than the original Yellow Devil, but I don't know, maybe that's just my imagination. Still, I don't much care for that boss. That's the boss that will haunt your nightmares! And I don't like it. I didn't even use an energy tank, so how do you like that? And now we're on Wiley's Stage 3, which has, in my opinion, one of the best Wiley stage themes in the entire series. That I'm being serious there, it is that good. So something about it just gets you really pumped to fight Dr. Wiley. And now that we have such epic music behind us, we're ready to challenge anything that stands in our way. You know, it just makes you feel unstoppable. And that's really good. I mean, I love the music in this game. What can I say? It'll never be as good as, or as iconic as Mega Man 2, but it's still up there. As for the Yellow Devil, something funny about that is that, well, I, like most people, played Mega Man 2 before the original Mega Man game. So it's like, what was the point of that G.I. Joe there? He's just like sort of hanging out there, but you're pretty much, you have to try to run into it, so it's like, what's the point of that? But anyway, with regards to the Yellow Devil, I originally played Mega Man 2 before the original, And then I moved on to Mega Man 3. I had heard of the Yellow Devil in the first Mega Man game, but I didn't expect to see the Yellow Devil here. And, like, I wasn't expecting to see it in, like, such a place. So I just thought it was confined to the first game. So imagine my surprise when I ran into it here. It was actually the first time I fought the Yellow Devil. Like, in either this game or its sequel. But anyway, now we're on to the fourth of the Wiley Castle stages. This actually contains the boss rush, but there's actually a fairly short side thing that's like you have to get through before that. But nevertheless, my weapons are all stocked up, so I think this will go pretty smoothly. I don't know about y'all, but I get the feeling I'm going to be doing pretty good. And yes, I am going to try to beat this game without using any energy tanks. I need to redeem myself for my absolutely horrendous performance in Mega Man 2. Also, one thing I may as well try and show off is, coming up here, there's something that you can do. It's actually right around here. You can sort of slide over to the next block, and I'm gonna try and show that off. Like, you can, if you do it just right, and I can't seem to be doing it, so screw that! Anyway, let's actually head to the boss rush. And you know what that means. Hit it! Let's get some music going! Just like before, y'all can check the description for more information on the song that was used for the boss montage. The speed montage, I should say, but anyway, that's all for that stage. Yeah, unlike the previous two games, the boss rush doesn't actually end with a fight with the Dr. Wiley's new machine. No, instead that's saved for the next stage, which is only a boss fight for Dr. Wiley's new machine. That's also different from future games as well. Most of the time it's like, you fight all of the robot masters, and then you immediately, in the same stage, fight Dr. Wiley's machine. Yeah, this is another thing that makes the Wiley stages easy. Well, easier than, like, before. Because it's like, when you clear a stage, you get an immediate refill of life. And so that makes it easier. But, yeah, Dr. Wiley's machine is easy. It's a piece of cake. You can also use Rush Jet to fight the second phase, and you can avoid taking any damage. That works too. I kind of prefer to use the Hard Knuckle, which is its weakness. It turns out that Wiley was a fake. Also, look at all this stuff they give you. I don't need any of that crap. Do they seriously expect me to suck that hard? Screw that. I'm taking on this boss without taking any of that. I don't need that crap. Seriously, you really only need 2 weapons. And I realize that the info card says that, like, his weakness is technically the Hard Knuckle, but I prefer to use the Shadow Blade because you can, like, attack him very quickly, like, from below. And, the top spin is the weakness for the second phase. So yeah, Gamma is another easy boss fight. So you see, I told y'all that I would finish the final boss in this episode, but y'all didn't believe me. But what's that? We were crushed, and now we're gone. So it seems. Or perhaps this means we finally find out who that mysterious figure was who kept whistling. And who could it be? Well, I mean, fans of the series probably already know this. I mean, Proto Man. So yeah, all that time Breakman was actually Proto Man, who was actually the first robot designed by Dr. Light. He predates even Rock. And apparently he was a prototype, but let's just say he had a few screws loose. Almost literally. Yeah, he sort of didn't exactly become a villain, but sort of went his own way and decided to, like, leave Dr. Light. So now he sort of just does his own thing, occasionally helping Mega Man. But yeah, he tends to like solitude, and he's not very good at keeping contact. Yeah, apparently that's one of his bad points according to the Mega Man and Base CD database, and I can believe it. He doesn't seem to be very good at keeping contact with people. That's kind of a recurring thing with him. But yeah, we have beaten Mega Man 3, and I did it without using any energy tanks. How do you like that? I mean, like, the Mega Man series is a lot easier than I think people make it out to be, but nevertheless, I mean, I do like to get in some practice, so, like, for this LP, I did a few practice runs of it, just to get a feel for it. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but there's actually some wind. I mean, that's the funny thing that always gets me. People always like say, "Oh, I don't know, can you hear the thing in the background?" And it's like, you pretty much never can. It's like, you hear the rain in the background, and it's like, no, I can't hear it. But yeah, the credits theme of Mega Man 3, I admit, is not as good as Mega Man 2. Just seems too jangled. But, yeah, that is really all for Mega Man 3. Or, not exactly. You see, there are a few things I missed. Not as many as before, but I want to go over them, so let's do just that. The first thing I missed, and this is actually something that I should have included in my Mega Man 2 LP, is that Mega Man 2 actually introduced a password system. Now, I pretty much never use it, because I don't like having to memorize passwords, and 2, Mega Man games are short enough that, I don't really need to beat them using passwords. Like, I can pretty much beat them in one sitting, no problem, so it's not something that really that I really need to do. And Mega Man 3 also has a password system, but again, it's not particularly useful. Now, I'm not going to go over it every single time they include a password system, but I just felt it was worth noting, and I am going to cover it whenever there are some interesting passwords that give you some sort of neat secret or whatever. But that's all for the passwords. Now, one other thing that I feel I should cover is the disappearing blocks of doom in Magnet Man's stage. I'm a show to y'all that I can do that, because, I guess that's what I've been doing before. They are a pain, and this time they've added a magnet to pull you off, so ain't that just terrific?
And, unlike before, I'm actually going to do this without Rush Jet, because I don't need that. I had better not have to make this into a speed montage, because this is just embarrassing. Seriously, don't jump like that, you clumsy fool! Like, a player fool keeps failing to jump through over these disappearing blocks of doom. There's a reason I call them the disappearing blocks of doom. I get the feeling I could use Rush Coil, but I don't want to do that. I want to beat it, without using Rush at all. Even though I guess any player could use Rush, I think. Don't take my word on that. Again, I'm just trying to get through this crap. This is like 2 speed montages, 1 video. What else will befall me? This isn't fun. This is annoying and tedious. There we go. Okay, now let's try and get through the rest of this place. I don't like having to speed this crap up, but, if I have to do it, I have to do it. I don't want this video getting too long, but, yeah, that was it.
And now it's time for the part y'all have been waiting for. Box art time! Yep, and this time we've still got 2 box arts. First off, the American box art. And it's actually not that bad for once. It's not but ugly for once. There are still problems with it. And just look at that smile. That is just... That's weirdly devious. And also, Sparkman looks like... He looks nothing like he does in the actual game. That's just weird. I swear, that smile on Mega Man, that is just the smile of someone who's plotting something devious. Maybe he plans on overthrowing Dr. Wily and forming his own empire. Or, I don't know. Nevertheless, that is the American box art, and it's not but ugly for once. Next up is the European box art, perhaps. Maybe that's better. And it's actually not too bad either. I mean, you've got the color scheme right, the art style is true to the game. I mean, Mega Man is a bit discolored, but it's no big deal, and certainly it's probably no big... Oh, jeez! My goodness, Dr. Wiley! That is going to haunt your nightmares for the next few weeks!
Dr. Wiley's always punching and he beasts upon the souls of the innocent.
Like EA.
To create an army of demons to rule the world for all eternity.
Oh, for the love of all that is decent, get that box art off screen! Pronto! Gonna give people nightmares, you are. I apologize in advance for any nightmares I may have caused with that box art. My goodness. But yeah, that's all for Mega Man 3. And join me next time for my next LP. Maybe Mega Man 4. But see y'all then. This is the Mississippi King signing out. And have a great day. Hopefully you don't get infected by any nightmares that I may have accidentally caused you from Dark. Okay, this is... See ya. Bye.